Good evening, everybody. Today is Monday, December 13th, 2021, and this is iBUG Buzz, episode number 513. Wow, we're getting up there. My name is Brad Snyder, and along with SANDHYA Rao, we are your co-hosts for this big event. The iBUG Buzz is an open forum where we discuss all things iOS and related. It includes your hardware like your iPhone, your iPad, your iPod Touch. We even talk about the Apple Watch and the Apple TV. We'll cover the hardware, related apps, and maybe even some accessories. We stick to the iOS world in this call. We have another call that talks about other things, but tonight we focus on iOS. This call is being recorded and will be available on our ibugtoday.org website, also available on the Sight into Sound website. It will also eventually be made available as a podcast that you can listen to on your podcast player of choice, as well as your favorite smart speaker by asking your smart speaker to play iBUG Buzz. Maybe you have to say iBUG Buzz podcast. I'm not sure. I like the podcast app myself. Anyway, let's see. A couple of do's and don'ts we like to go over. Since this call is being recorded, we like everybody to help us get a cleaner recording as possible. With that in mind, we ask you to stay on mute. And if you would like to speak, you can unmute yourself, state your name, and wait to be called on by either myself or SANDHYA. Let's go over how to mute and unmute. If you're on a iPhone with us tonight and you're using the Zoom app, you'll find the mute button in the lower left corner of your screen. If you're on an iPad, it's located near the top part of the screen, just a little bit to the right of center. If you're on joining us from a Windows computer, you'll use your Alt and A to mute and unmute. And if you're joining us from a Mac, it's Command Shift A. And if you're joining us on a dial-in phone, you want to use *6. And all of these are toggles. You repeat the command to unmute yourself and to mute yourself. Let's see. I said that we ask you to unmute and state your name. What I didn't mention is that we don't use the raise hand feature, because it's just easier if everybody just, states your name, then wait to be acknowledged by either myself or SANDHYA. And that keeps things nice and orderly. I believe that's all the do's and don'ts and all the preliminaries. Why don't we go over to SANDHYA and let's do some announcements to get us all up to date on what's going on in the iBUG world.
All right. Okay. This is SANDHYA. Okay. So let's start. We have a busy week again. So for tomorrow, we have Clubhouse Mini Buzz, and that will be on Clubhouse. And all times that I mentioned will be Central Time, and that will be from 5 to 6 on that platform. Then we have on Wednesday, busy day, we have the iBUG Mac Buzz on Clubhouse. All questions relating to the Mac are open for consideration, and that'll be from 5 to 7 on Clubhouse. And then immediately following, back to back at 7, we will have iBUG Android Insights, and that's from 7 to 8:30, entertaining all questions relating to the Google platform, Android, and Alexa devices. So definitely a good place to pose all those questions. Thursday, another double hitter. We have it's iBUG's Life, talking about holiday shopping. So we got to hurry up and get that going, right? Hopefully we've started. And in case you haven't, we will get you on your way. And that's on Clubhouse. And that's from 6 to 8 p.m. And then following that, we have iBUG Trekkie Talk. We're finishing out the Discovery series, season 3 on Star Trek. And then we're going to be in January, for you Trekkies, we're going to be starting the Next Generation season 4. So we hope you'll join us for that. And then Fridays, iBUG Night at the Virtual Movies, and we'll stay tuned to the halftime show for the revelation of those clues, and then we will have a chance to guess what the movie is. Then Saturday is our iBUG Apple Workshop from 2 to 4 on the Zoom platform. And there we will be having a little bit of a holiday edition. So we'll have some training, but it's a little more lighthearted. We'll have some games and trivia and some door prizes, maybe. Who knows? Maybe. All right. So come and visit with us that day. And also wanted to announce that starting in January, this call will be moved to 7 p.m. Central, moving up from 7:30 to 7 p.m., not 7 a.m. And let's see. Okay, so definitely our social media. Visit our website at ibugtoday.org. It's the best place to get all the information. Follow, and you can also register there. It doesn't cost anything, and you'll get all of the notifications very promptly. Then you can also follow us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/group/iBugTodays, where you can pose questions and get answers. And then Twitter is at iBug Today. Herbie Allen's constantly tweeting out valuable information about accessibility in the Apple world. Let's see. Well, I think those are all the announcements. We also have a Jumpstart mentoring program. If you'd like to volunteer to be a mentor for someone new and you're an advanced user, then we'd love for you to complete the application for that. And we have several of our mentors on this call, and we're so grateful to them. And if you are in need of a help, you're just starting out with your new iPhone, complete the application for a mentee, and we will match you up with one of those amazing advanced users. All right. Okay, Brad, with all that, I am handing it back to you.
Wow, that was a lot of information. Thank you very much, Sandhya. My calendar is full. All right. As is the tradition here at iBUG, we like to take a trip around the room, give everybody an opportunity to say hello, tell us where you're joining us from, and most importantly, if this is your first time joining us, and then we'll get back to you later to find out a little bit more about what devices you're using. So we'll get things started. My name is Brad, and I am in Dallas, Texas.
This is Herbie, and I am in Houston.
This is Stephen from the tiny bedroom community of Austin, Texas.
All right.
Okay, maybe not so tiny.
Maybe not so tiny. All right. Good, Stephen.
This is Susan from Houston.
Hey, Susan.
Hello, it's Ann from.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead, Ann, and then somebody.
It's Ann from St. Louis, Missouri.
And then who else we got?
That's
go ahead,
Helene.
go on.
Helene. Yeah.
Helene. Hello, Helene. Good to hear.
This is Helene, and now in Paradise Valley, Arizona.
All right. Very nice. Very nice.
This is Chanel in Houston.
Hey, Chanel. Who else we got?
This is
Jim and
Jody in New Hampshire. What?
Hey, Jody.
Three of us.
And I believe I heard Jim in there.
yep,
All
Jim
right.
from
Welcome,
PA.
Jody.
from
Welcome,
Illinois.
Jim.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who else we got?
Adam from Chicago.
Hello, Adam.
Sri from Virginia.
Hey, Sri.
Roy from Fort Worth.
Roy.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, Sharon from New York.
Hello, Sharon.
Hi.
This is Sandhya from Houston.
Hello, Sonia from Houston.
Greg from Texas.
Hey, Greg.
Dan from San Diego, California.
Hello, Sam.
Kathy from Bend, Oregon.
Hello. Is that it?
Freddie from Galveston area.
Hey, Freddie. And I guess if that's it, we will thank everybody for saying hello and let's proceed. I didn't hear anybody say it was their first time joining us. I know we've got some newcomers out there though. Anybody would like to get us started? We like to give the newcomers a chance to ask a question to get things rolling. If we've got anybody brave enough to do that, we'd like to give you the opportunity. Or if not, we'll just get going with whatever we got.
This is SANDHYA.
Yeah.
Prior to the call, we had a request if we would relay her question from Miss Donna. And the question is, she is on a phone call and she is hearing her voiceover talking. And as a result, she cannot hear the caller and she can't hear her voiceover. So
Too much
she
going
wants-
on. Okay.
too much going on. So that's her
Who
question.
can help Donna out with voiceover talking while she's on a phone
This is
call?
Herbie.
Okay, Herbie.
Yeah, so this is an annoying problem, and even for veteran users, at least I certainly find it annoying because voiceover will indeed drown the speech off. So what I like to do on a phone call is a lot of times, unless I'm doing something that involves the keypad or whatever, I like to mute my speech with the 3-finger double tap, and I'll just turn it back on when I'm done with the call because I can still do the 2-finger double tap. So that's what I like to do. You can also try locking the screen, but I find that if I'm holding the phone to my ear, that's more likely to disconnect the call, but it will be just fine if I have the call on the speaker. So
Okay, so just to clarify, Herbie, you take 3 fingers and tap the screen twice, right, to turn off speech, and then you
yes.
do it 3 times again to turn speech back on.
Well, 2 times again to
2
another
times.
double
Excuse
tap.
me. Yes.
Yes.
The 3-finger double tap toggles it on and off. Excellent. Well, hopefully that'll help Donna out with that. Thank you, Herbie. Okay.
This is Jody.
I'd like to pose our next question. What did I hear? Sorry, I had too
Jody?
much talk. Jody, go ahead. Thank you, Jody.
Yeah, I agree with what Herbie said about locking the screen. That's what I do, but I'm using a Bluetooth earbud, so there's no problem at all. But if I hit the power button, it locks the screen, and then I don't hear voiceover anymore. But of course, the call still stays connected, but that's what I do.
All right. Another good tactic. Thank you, Jody. Okay. Well, hopefully Donna's got a couple of tools for her toolbox. Okay. Who'd like to pose our next question?
It's
Things
Nancy.
moving here. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
I have a Christmas tip and I have a question. What would you
Okay.
like?
Go with whichever one you'd like to go first.
I was going through Christmas songs today on YouTube, and I now somehow have a picture or something on my phone and it says people with clothing. I'm glad it says with clothing, but I don't know how to get rid of this thing. It says people with clothing. I'm guessing it's a picture that came from YouTube, because it hasn't been saying that before now, before I got on YouTube today. So
Okay.
does
This is
anybody?
Jim.
All right, Jim.
Yeah, I would suggest doing a restart of your phone, where you hit the volume up, volume down, and then hold the lock screen button in for about 10 to 15 seconds. That may get rid of it.
This is Shri.
Okay, Shri.
So
you were watching YouTube, most likely what has happened is you got picture-in-picture running in the background. You probably paused your YouTube channel, that video file. So with the latest versions, they do picture-in-picture, and your YouTube is running in the background, but it's paused. Now you can tap on that image and then flick up or flick down, and one of those options should give you is close. And that should take the picture-in-picture out.
It's Nancy. Thank you.
Okay, Nancy.
I was just saying thank you. I'll try that.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Sheree. Thank you, Jim.
This Greg.
Yeah, go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, my thought was just go to the app switcher and shut the app down.
Okay, yeah. That'll work too, probably. Okay. All right. There's a couple of good strategies there. Thanks, everybody. Okay, who's got our next question?
This is Helene.
Okay, Helene.
This is a Gmail question, Gmail, but when I go to, and I'm not sure where it's happening, but I hear the word sheet grabber, like SHEET grabber, and I don't know what it means. I've never heard the word sheet grabber. Does anyone know that term?
Okay, Helene is hearing sheet grabber. This when you're in Gmail, a Gmail message?
Yes. I'm trying to either respond like a reply or
This is
I'm
Herbie.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's see. Herbie, go ahead.
I have seen the term in the mail app. It doesn't matter if I'm using Gmail or whatever account. Honestly, I don't know what it means, but I have definitely seen the term. It's not your imagination. But I'm guessing it's kind of trying to be like an email sheet or whatever. I don't know. Maybe somebody else has a better answer, but I have seen it.
Okay. And Herbie, you say this is not just in Gmail, but in other mail as well?
Yeah, because like today I was sending an account and it went to a... Granted, my default is Gmail, so maybe that could be a factor, but when it switched accounts, there was definitely still the sheet grabber thing there at the top of the page. Yeah, and it's in the mail app specifically where I do see it is the as well as that sheet grabber thing.
Okay. Well, we don't know how, this is Brad, we don't know how to stop it, or we don't know what it means. I'm not sure that I've heard it before.
This is Chanel.
Well, let's go ahead with, let's go Chanel and then we'll go to Sri.
Yeah, I thought I'd seen it in the context of like sharing things. Maybe if I'm trying to, maybe it is mail, but I thought I had seen it in other apps when dealing with sharing, but I'm not quite sure if it was just a way to grab an app or grab a link, or I don't remember. I'll have to pay attention next time. Anyway, that's all.
Okay. Thank you. Let's see, Sri.
Yeah, I definitely concur with Herbie. I have seen it in the top left of the mail. I always skip it because the next option gets you into the mail. I believe it was explained to me some time ago, but I have completely forgotten because I typically just skip it.
This is Jim. I thought it was about.
Hey, Jim, go ahead, Jim.
I thought it was about picking up after your dog died. Maybe I'm confused.
Okay.
This is Herbie.
Yeah, go ahead, Herbie.
So, well, Jim, the only problem with that scenario is that I don't have a guide dog, so yeah, that's. But like Shree said, I've seen it in the. It's nothing that I think I've seen it since iOS 15, and it's just one of those things that because I don't use iOS mail that often, I don't even think about it, and B, when I do see it, I just ignore it because it doesn't interfere with anything. It's just what it says. And I've never really thought much about it. It's like, okay, something that they've introduced in iOS 15. That's nice. But maybe, there could be something more significant to it. I don't know. It's just something I've seen it and I out of sight, out of
This is
mind,
Jim.
so to speak.
Maybe it's something
Jim,
that
go ahead.
it might be that it's something that 1502 might correct, which came out today.
This is Shri.
Yeah, go ahead, Shri.
There's a purpose for it. It was explained to me before, and there's a logic behind that. I just don't remember it. So maybe next week we can bring it back and explain what it actually is purpose for.
Yeah.
But there is a purpose for it.
Yeah, this is Brad. I'm curious about it too. I'll have to look this up once we get off of here and I have time. Okay, well, we did our
Thank
best
you.
with that one. We'll have to do some research on that and get back to everybody. Okay, who do we have there? I'm sorry. I heard
She was
somebody.
just saying thank you. Oh, sorry.
Oh, say, okay, go ahead.
I was just saying thank you.
Okay,
And,
you're welcome.
Yes, and may I ask one more question?
Yes, please.
Okay, the word hide, HIDE, that comes up when I do. I'm not very good on Facebook, but before it tells me what anything says in the news feed, it always says hide, and then it says whatever is happening. And that only happened since the 15, since the update. So is that something I can get rid of, or I should just accept that hide is always going to come before it tells me?
Okay, we got any
This is Jim.
Facebook users out there? Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, I was going to say with Facebook, the one thing you can count on with Facebook, it's an ever-changing app because it's always being updated and changed. And I think what that hide is referring to is if there is someone or a topic that you don't want to see, you can hide it from being displayed. And it gives you the option forever or for 30 days, what have you. I'm not, I just kind of ignore it because there's so much coming at you on Facebook all the time. I just kind of blow right by it.
Okay, good advice. Okay, well, a lot going on Facebook. Okay, let's move along. Thank you, Helene. Do we have another? Who would like to go next?
This is Jody.
Okay, Jody.
Has anybody else noticed that seeing AI seems to be less stable than it used to be? I was using it to read handwriting, and then it was doing a color identification, which is the next channel. So it was switching channels from what I wanted. So I wanted handwriting, and it was going over to color. Has anybody else noticed that seeing AI isn't stable?
This is Jim.
Okay, Jim.
Yeah, I noticed that last week. I was trying to ID a particular product. It was actually one of my prescriptions, and I wanted to be sure I had the right bottle. And I thought, well, seeing AI, I'll do it. No, that didn't do it. And SuperSense didn't quite get it either. And then I used Envision AI, and that finally gave me enough information so that I was able to identify what the product was, and then I had it confirmed by my girlfriend. But yeah, I did notice that. I tried to do product ID and it went to document reading. So I know they did put out an update just this past week, and I haven't tried it since. So it'll have to prove itself to me again.
This is Chanel.
Okay, Chanel.
It's interesting you bring Seeing AI up because I actually had a good experience with it today. So that's crummy. It's changing channel on you. I was able to read the handwriting off of a check and know how much the check was for that I'd gotten. So that was pretty nice, but that's too bad. I hardly ever use the app, so I'm glad it worked, but that's still a pain when it doesn't work.
This is Shri.
Yeah, Shri, go ahead.
So this is something that I've experienced before, and I did reach out to Seeing AI. There is a help feedback section, and I was very surprised. They responded back within the same day, and they told me at that time, they did tell me there was an issue where the channels were kind of not keeping in a locked state. So if you're experiencing it, I would definitely send a feedback to them to let them know. And they're pretty responsive to address these type of issues.
This is Brad. And where do you
Thank you.
find where do you find in the app where you do feedback to them? It can
So-
be helpful.
This is Sri.
Yeah.
So I believe it's on the first, on the top left where it has that menu option. Then you swipe right, and I believe there's a feedback section that you tap, and then you just kind of fill in what your problem is. It actually fills some of the information about your device, and then you just kind of type in the issue that you're having. And like I said, I got a response back the same day.
Right. Well, good to know. That's good information. Thank you, Sri.
This is Karen.
Yeah, Karen.
Yes, I've had that problem too with CNAI, and just overall, I've been more disenchanted with CNAI because it doesn't seem to work for me as well as it used to, particularly with document read. I mean, when I'm holding it in front of something, I'm like, give me some kind of feedback. Sometimes it gives me absolutely no feedback whatsoever, like zero. And it's like, you got to say something. I mean, you got to say, move to the left, move to the right, say something. And I noticed back then, sometimes I'll just go ahead and take the picture, and it reads. Yeah, it reads the text. It just wasn't doing it on its own.
This is Herbie.
Okay, go ahead, Herbie.
So, it's interesting. I had for me, it's weird. Maybe for other people, not so much. I was using Seeing AI last week to identify a boxed TV dinner, and normally I have really good luck with the short text and not so much with the barcode. But this last week for me, I was kind of surprised. I tried the barcode thing and I had easier luck finding it than I did with the short text. With the short text, it's kind of a little bit like what, oh, sorry, I forgot your name who just spoke before me. Karen, that's right. Sorry.
Karen.
Anyway, so I've kind of experienced a similar problem with the short text too, where it was being problematic, but it actually found the barcode. It didn't have it in its database, but that's neither here nor there. But it still found it more easier and so I was surprised that I had an easier time with it than the short text feature, because for me, it's usually the other way around.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah, Karen.
Sorry, this is Karen.
Yes,
Yeah, I
go
just
ahead.
think that overall, I think it's changing. I don't know. It could be my imagination, but it used to be spot on, and now I think it's different. I don't think it's my imagination. I think it's different because it's absolutely not as effective as it used to be. I don't know why that is or why they would do that. You would think it would be getting better, but I don't know. I think it's something real weird about it, how it's just crappy. I think it's like crappy now.
Okay, well, that's disappointing to hear.
This is Sri.
Yeah, Sri, go ahead.
A new kind of a sidetrack to this conversation we just had. So last Friday, I got to go see the Washington Capitals versus Pittsburgh Penguins.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing live text left and right. I was just pointing my camera out on the banner, just taking pictures. And I was very surprised how well live text was reading information that it was capturing on my camera. So I'm wondering if anyone has tried to just take a picture of, like the menu or the pill bottle to see how well live text is actually reading the content of the image. Because when I took pictures, I was looking at, it told me what the time was in the game. It told me what the score was. It read the banner on the screen. I mean, it told me which player just scored the last goal. I mean, just whatever the banner was capturing, or the camera was capturing on the banner. It wasn't 100%, but it read very surprising. I was very surprised how much information I was just gathering by just taking a picture.
Wow.
This is Herbie.
Cool. Yeah, go ahead, Herbie.
Shri, I was just gonna say you missed an opportunity there to do a pre-recorded Apple Bites. That would have been so interesting to see that in action. I have not played with that, but that would have been so cool.
This is Dan.
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
Okay, I was outside, and I don't know. Somehow I accidentally turned the camera on, and it started telling me all this stuff around me. You know, there's a fence over here, there's a plant over there, so forth and so on. It did real good. So it'll work. It'll work outside. That's interesting what you did there, Shree, with the TV screen. That's really fascinating. And also, I want to make a comment about seeing AI. I recently, when I got the update, I got a little message that said from Seeing AI that said we are changing this app over to a 64-bit system. So if you are from now on, it's required that you run iOS 12 or later. So that might be a factor in some of the people's problems here lately. I've been really happy with Seeing AI lately myself. So that's all I have to say for right now.
All right. Well, thank you, Dan. Okay. Who'd like to go?
This is Jody.
Yeah, Jody.
I'm running 15.1, and I wondered if it wasn't because I updated my phone that it was having problems. But I will definitely email them tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, good. I know they like that feedback.
It's Nancy.
Oh, yeah, Nancy.
Okay, so I'm going to give my little Christmas tip.
Okay.
So I was looking for song words today for Christmas songs, and I found a website that says Christmas Carol Directory. And what was pretty cool was I could go and get the words and do a share and email them to myself so that I could put them in my Braille note taker. And then I would go back to the website and it would go to the next song in the list. So it kept track of where I was in the list.
Oh.
It was really fun. So if anyone's looking for Christmas Carol words, it was, if you just say even Jingle Bells lyrics, it will bring up this website, because I've closed it a couple times just to see if I put in a different title, if it would bring up that same website again. And it did. So anyway, it was a fun thing to do. And I'm going to be singing for a assisted living center tomorrow. So now I've got words in Braille.
All right.
Thank you.
That's great. Well, thank you, Nancy. Okay. Who's got the next question or like to keep us moving here?
This is Dan with a question.
Okay, Dan.
Okay. Kind of referring back to what I was talking about. Does anybody know when did Apple tell all of their developers, okay, we're going to switch over to a 64-bit system, so you're going to have to update your apps? I was surprised that Seeing AI sent that message out. I thought that this was something that happened about 2 years ago, and so I'm just curious if anybody knows when Apple told all of their developers, okay, you're going to have to switch over to a 64-bit system with your apps.
This is Shree.
Yeah, Sheree, go ahead.
My understanding, this is the first time I'm hearing about the iOS side, but before, it was before prior to Big Sur that anything that was not 64-bit, the app was not going to get updated to the device. And this was more on the computer level, not on the iOS level. But it doesn't surprise me that, Apple said we're only supporting 64-bit application, because it's kind of the security standard now. So
yeah, this is Brad. I think it was iOS 12. I think that came about. What was that? 3 years ago, I think. Yeah. Okay. Who's got our next question?
Okay, it's Nancy again.
Yes, Nancy.
I thought of a question.
Okay.
I am using the Fit Plus on the phone,
Mhm.
and I'm having a heck of a time trying to get the workout to start playing. Does anyone else have trouble? Sometimes I can get the play button to work, and sometimes I get a screen, it just says AirPlay, and it gives me the things to tap on, whether it's my headset or the speaker. And it's really hard to get. I usually have to go and close out of Fit Plus. Oh,
Okay. I guess Kathy got a call. Nancy got a call. I mean, all right. Well, hopefully she'll be back. Who's got a question for us while we wait?
This is Greg.
Yes, Greg.
Okay, since somebody just had a phone call, I had a question about that. So if I'm on the Zoom call and I have a phone call come in, and I assume I just do the magic tap, 2-finger double tap to take the call, and then when I end the call, does it automatically put me back on the Zoom call that I was on? Not that I'd ever do that on an iBUG
This is
call.
Herbie.
Of course not. Yeah, Herbie, go ahead.
Oh, Nancy can go ahead.
okay,
Nancy?
well, sure. Sorry about that. I thought I had
Okay.
my phone on do not ring, but
Wait. This is SANDHYA. Let's finish.
Hey,
Let's finish Greg's question.
We got Greg in here while you were gone.
Yeah.
We'll come back to you in just a
Right,
second.
I was going to answer his question.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead.
So I was just going to say, if you're lucky, it doesn't kick you out, but sometimes Zoom, if a call comes in, it will kick you out of the call. So what works the best is if you put your call on mute so that it won't come in, the ringing won't come in, which I didn't do. And I'm on the computer, and so then it's really hard for me to get it to stop in the middle. So that's why I went on mute, because I couldn't get it to stop ringing on the computer.
So this is Herbie.
Okay, go ahead, Herbie.
So it's a good idea when you use the Zoom app to, I think it's under General, enable the call kit. And what that's going to do is make it so when you get a phone call when you're on your phone, instead of being thrown out of Zoom with a phone call, you're going to get the call waiting beep, and then you would just answer the call that way. Sometimes, though, at least last time I had this issue when I was in a breakout room, I had issues coming back after I had to take another call, but you should be able to come back to Zoom. But like I said, it's a good idea to make sure the call kit is enabled first under the General under Zoom. And that way you get the call waiting beep instead of the disruptive actual phone call.
This is Chanel.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, Chanel.
I think it's actually called call integration.
It
Just
could
just
be.
in case you can't find call kit. I think I've seen that term. So in
Oh,
case
thank
one doesn't
you.
work, maybe the other will.
Okay, call
It's
integration.
Can you, yeah, so I'm confused. So I go into Zoom and then under Zoom, I find this heading.
This is Herbie.
Yeah, Herbie,
Yeah.
can you clarify this for her?
Yeah, so I can't actually look at it in real time because my phone's
Right.
updating, but in the preference, like where the options are, where General and all that stuff is, it's under
Yeah.
General in the Zoom app on your
In
phone.
the Zoom app.
And it'll be something like call integration or call kit. And then
Yes.
you do that turn that on every time before you go on a Zoom?
No, it's a one-time thing. You turn it on and it'll remember the setting.
Okay, and so that will mean I'll get a call waiting when
You'll
I'm
get a
on
call waiting, exactly, instead of so yeah, and that can really come in handy.
And then can you do like hold and accept or whatever
Yes.
that
It treats
Yeah.
it like a regular call. So you've got your hold and accept, decline, send the voicemail, that whole stuff. So it works like an actual call waiting.
Okay, and if you do the hold and accept, then you could just go back to it.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you, Herbie. Okay. Who's got our next question for us? Keeping things moving along.
It's Nancy.
This is
Hang on, Tree. Nancy, go ahead.
So I'm in the settings on Zoom, and
try again.
Let's see. Can I put my phone? Can I put my computer on? I'm holding down the space bar, but I want to play you what I'm hearing because I'm confused about which thing to choose.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so I have my phone in settings on Zoom, and here are my options.
Enable to answer meeting and phone calls. True call kit. The iOS system calling when you are not on Zoom. These calls will be included in your device's call history. You will not be able.
That's not what I want, right?
I'm at Herbie.
Yeah, this is Herbie. Yes, that is what you want, and you want to make sure that is turned on.
Okay.
Use call kit to receive calls when not on Zoom. Switch button on. Double tap.
Yep. It's on. So yeah, that'll make sure that, so I was right. It is called Call Kit. And that'll ensure that you'll get the call waiting beep whenever a phone call or a FaceTime call comes in when you're in a Zoom call on your phone.
Okay, and then
enable to answer meeting and phone calls. True call kit. The iOS system calling when you are not on Zoom.
Okay.
That's just explaining what the feature is.
Oh, got it. Okay. All right.
That's
so
all
I
it
need
is.
to do that same thing on my computer in order to get it to work there.
Well, there's no option for that on the computer. That's just an iPhone thing. I don't know if there's if you have an iPad, I don't know about that, but for sure on the iPhone. But there's no such thing on the computer, no matter which operating system.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Herbie. Okay, let's see, Shri.
So I updated to 15.2 and I use the 2-finger swipe right or 2-finger swipe left as a custom gesture. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure if this is 15.2 or 15.1, but now that 2-finger swipe right has a default finger gesture that I have no idea what it does. And I cannot change, or it doesn't accept any custom gesture with a 2-finger swipe right. And I was wondering if anyone else has experienced this.
Anybody updated 15.2 and experiencing? So is it swipe left or swipe right?
2-finger. So for me, I do 2-finger swipe right to take me to the status bar.
Okay.
So right now, when I go to the command for 2-finger swipe right, it says something like fade in or fade out doing a 2-finger swipe left. So I try to go and change that to go to the status bar, but it doesn't allow me to. Like you can't seem to appear to change it.
Okay. Anybody experiencing any issues with 2-finger swipe right? Anybody updated to 15.2 today?
This is Greg.
Yeah, Greg, go ahead.
I can't speak to 15. I think 15.1.2 is what they did today.
Okay.
And
Come on,
I haven't.
stop.
I haven't tried that.
All right, we had to mute, so just come back in, Greg, please. Okay, and Brad.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm on, I know with 15.1, I think I was able to reprogram that 2-finger swipe left and right. And then I thought at some point I may find that what they reprogrammed it as for the go in and go out, I might want to use that. So I ended up using a four finger flick up and down for my headings, which is real handy. But yeah, I don't know if in 15.1.2 you can't reprogram that 2-finger swipe right and left or not. I was able to do it before.
This is Shri.
Go ahead, Shri.
So I did the same thing. I just substitute 4-finger swipe down for my status bar, but it's the other one seems to work. It's just the 2-finger swipe right or swipe left. I can't seem to change it.
This Roy.
Okay, Roy.
I thought the 2-finger swipe left and right was used for the navigation, kind of like on the Mac where you can expand something or collapse it. You do the 2-finger swipe right or left on your phone if you have that. You have two views, a flat view.
Yeah.
And what's that other one called?
Flat navigation, or
It's
what's the
called
other one
navigation
called?
Group
style.
navigation.
Group
And I thought that
navigation.
those two gestures were assigned to that. Is that not
Yeah, this is
right?
Jim.
Okay, Jim.
Yeah, I just went into settings, accessibility, and voiceover practice and tried the 2-finger swipe right and swipe left, and all it did was beep at me. So I'm guessing you may have to go into commands and make whatever changes you want to there.
This is Nancy.
Okay, Nancy.
I know what Sri is. Well, I haven't updated, and now I don't want to because I used the 2-finger swipe left and right, and I did it like what you're saying, Jim. I went to commands, which I imagine is what Sri did, and I changed it. That's what I use for my rotor. So I wonder if they made the this command that Sri's talking about, they made it like a magic tap so that you can't change it, which would be disappointing because I really like using it for my rotor. So.
Okay.
This is Jody.
Yeah, Jody.
First, I want to apologize for the noise. My dog was driving me crazy, and I thought I was on mute. Sorry, Sandhya. I've also had the same problem. I used to use the 2-finger swipe right to get to the status bar, and now the 2-finger swipe right is a dedicated command for something else. I was going to go in and see what it was.
Okay. I was thinking the same thing. Okay. Well, thank you, Jody. Glad you got your dog taken care of. Okay. Who's got our next question?
This is Herbie.
This is Marty.
Yeah. Hang on. Let's go Herbie and then Marty.
So since we're on the
Okay.
subject of iOS 15.2, I just thought I'd mention something that could prove to be interesting for anybody that might be. So one of the things now it looks like 15.2 has is the new Apple Music voice plan. And basically what it is it's supposed to be a cheaper version of Apple Music. I think it's like $4.95. At least that was the price announced several months ago. It is limited, but you get to control Apple Music primarily with your voice. I do think there are some I know there are some limitations and whatnot, and it's especially designed for HomePod users that maybe don't have Apple Music, but want to have it for the full integration. But I just thought I'd mention that if anybody's looking for a cheap music service option that they want to try with the 15.2. So
Budget alternative. Okay, thank you, Herbie. I'm
Jody?
sorry. Wait a minute. We had
It's Marty.
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 Thank you. Marty, yes, sir.
Yeah, I know we had talked about the Amazon app, Alexa app before, and I went into it just a few days ago, and it's been several weeks since I've been in it. And what I've noticed, the tabs on the bottom, there's devices. So when you click on the devices tab, it says introducing favorites, and then it says plant 0. And when you swipe up, there's either activate. When you activate, it doesn't really. And then when it's either activate or describe images, explore images. So when I click on Explore Images, it gives some kind of a description. There's a document in there, and I'm not able to do anything with it. I only went into that tab because I wanted to check my buds. And that's usually like if you're in devices, you click all devices button and it lists all your devices that you have. So the only way now that I can do that is to go to the More button. It brings up a menu, and you have to sort of flick the settings, and then in settings it brings up your. Anybody familiar with this devices tab and what this favorites is all about?
This is Sandhya.
Okay, go ahead, Sandhya.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Marty. So yeah, I had the exact same problem, and I was trying to figure out something with one of my devices. So in the Alexa app. So how did you get around it? Where did you go to More and then Settings?
You go to the More tab, and then there's a menu of things, and then you go into Settings, and then I think you have to somehow flick around in there, and then you'll see a list, because I think when you first go to Settings, it thinks you want to set up a new device,
Okay.
but you don't, because I think it says add a device, and then there's lists. You go down until you see your devices, and then of course you click on the one that you want to look at or change.
All right. This is Sandhya.
Hey, Sandhya.
Yes, I mean, I was totally frustrated. I mean, the app, it's obviously like
so was
exactly
I.
what Marty said. It's just locked up. When you click on devices, it just, it's totally locked. So thank you. I guess we'll have to report it or find out what's going on.
Brad, just to clarify, we're talking about the Amazon Alexa app, because
Yes, that's
I
right.
think Marty just said Amazon, so I was thinking the shopping app.
No, the Alexa app. I meant to
Okay,
say
okay.
Alexa app.
This is Chanel.
Yeah, go ahead, Chanel.
And one way I worked around it, but it's been a few weeks, so I don't remember exactly, is I turned on my screen recognition, and then I was able to find like an OK or close button when it was giving me that prompt about favorites. I do have a question about the Echo Buds, but that was kind of my thing with the app. It's turning on the screen recognition and just flicking around until I found like a close or OK button.
Okay. I think we had somebody who spoke up right as we were about to go to Marty.
I think it was Jody.
Jody, thank you. Yes.
Jody. Yeah, I did a workaround with it. At the bottom of the screen on where it says favorites, there's a close button. So I turned voiceover off, and I just tapped on the bottom of the screen. I had to do it a couple of times to find the right spot. And then I turned voiceover back on, and then the favorites thing was gone. But I mean, that it was a bit tricky to do, but there is a place at the bottom where you can close it. I also went into accessibility, and the two-finger swipe right says move in, and then two-finger swipe left is for move out. So those are now assigned gestures.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This is Chanel. Oh.
Okay, hang on. Yeah, let's go Shri, and then we'll go back to you, Chanel. Go ahead, Shri.
Just a quick question regarding the Amazon Alexa app. So once you dismiss it, does it come up the next time you go in, or is it just a one-time thing?
No, it's a one-time. No, this is Jody. It's a one-time thing.
One-time thing. That's good. Okay, thank you. Chanel, go ahead.
Yeah, it was a one-time thing for me too, but as far as the gestures, that they were introduced in iOS 15, the very first iteration of iOS 15. Maybe you already mentioned that, but I have been able to change mine back and use the gestures I want to use. So, yep, that's all.
You win.
This is Shri.
Yeah, go ahead, Shri.
So what I did was, it was working this morning, but I was teaching a class. I was going to show them how to use the command feature for it. So when I reset it, I couldn't get back in. So if you do have it active and you haven't reset your the voiceover commands, then I'd say leave it alone, because it happened after I reset it. I couldn't go back in, but it was working this morning, and then I did the update.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
This is Nancy.
Yeah, Nancy.
Can I finish asking my other question?
Yes, ma'am. Please do.
Okay. So hopefully my phone on the computer won't ring again.
Okay.
I am using Fit Plus, and sometimes I have two questions about it. If anybody has a thought on how to do the sort, the filter and sort, I'd love to hear about that. And sometimes I can get the workout to play, and sometimes it goes into AirPlay, and then I have to go out and close the app in order to get back to portrait to re-choose it. And it just seems really clunky. And I just wonder if anybody else is having any, or if anybody else has figured out how to streamline using that fitness app with your watch.
Okay. And this is Brad. This is the Fit Plus app. Is that what you said, Nancy?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Anybody got experience with the Fit Plus app? Maybe knows what's going on here. No, I'm hearing crickets, Nancy. Sorry about that. Well, I'm sorry. We don't have any other Fit Plus users on the call, Nancy.
This is Sri.
Yeah, Sri.
I do want to make one comment about something that Herbie sent to the Facebook page regarding if you're a Verizon customer. I would definitely have you guys check it out, because it looks like Verizon, because they're a cell carrier, they bypass all the apps, and therefore they are monitoring you. And there are some settings that you should disable so they're not collecting data from you. And it's a very good article, and I would just want to say, Herbie, thank you for sending it out.
Okay. Good information for Verizon users. Okay. We got a couple
Sharon,
minutes. Yeah,
can
go. Who's it?
It's Sharon. I don't
Yes,
mean to
Sharon.
be stupid, but I'm trying to look for that Zoom thing. So am I supposed to be on? I'm in notification Zoom. Am I in the right place, Herbie, or am I in the wrong place? Going back to the phone call. on
Okay,
Zoom.
so where you?
Okay.
Sorry, this is
Yeah,
Herbie.
go ahead, Herbie.
So you should be under General,
General. Okay.
and I believe it's there. The call kit.
General call kit. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. And with that, we are almost right at our halfway mark.
All right.
Close enough.
Thank you, Brad.
All
Lots
righty.
of good questions. All right. So let's welcome those who didn't get to say hello the first time around. Please say your name and where you're from.
This is
Anybody?
Ned from Texas.
Hey, Ned, welcome.
Nikki from San Francisco.
Hey, Nikki and Nancy, welcome.
Arlene
Karen
from
from Philadelphia.
Carolina.
Arlene and who?
Karen from Philadelphia.
Karen and Arlene and Priscilla. Welcome, Priscilla.
Kathy from Tulsa.
Kathy, welcome. Anybody else?
Brooks in Oklahoma.
Brooks and Mr. McCulloch, welcome. Anybody else?
Catherine from Colorado.
Hey, Catherine, welcome.
Thanks.
Yes. All right. So with that, we are going to launch off right into Friday night's iBUG night at the virtual movies. And with those fantabulous clues is the fantabulous iBUG guy. Are you out there, sir? Mr. McCulloch. Hello. What?
Probably fell asleep.
Mr. McCulloch, are you there?
I think you should mute him.
I know. Mr. McCulloch.
Sounds like the spirits of Christmas got him.
I know. Come on, Mr. McCulloch, let's go.
I was expecting you to do the announcements. I forgot we don't do announcements right now anymore. Sorry about that. I was trying to finish my dinner hurriedly and
You didn't get the memo, obviously. All right.
guess not. Okay, what are we doing?
You're giving us those amazing clues so we can guess what the movie is.
Oh yeah. I should have remembered that. All right. Did we tell them what time we're starting and all that stuff?
No, you want
Is
to do that?
Oh yeah, that's smart. I got a race to do that now.
And after last week. Okay.
All right, this Friday, September the 17th.
December
The 17th. We will be
maybe there's a reason why you
we will
don't
be
do
watching. Oh, I'm not supposed to tell you what we're watching.
No.
We will be meeting at 7:30 p.m. for the pre-movie social. 8 p.m. we'll start the movie, and then afterwards we'll have a discussion, critique of the movie, and some wonderful trivia about the movie. So please join us right here on this very same Zoom conference line. And to figure out what we are going to see, we are going to now enter into Michael's Movie Show. All right.
Getting better
Is
and better.
Everybody ready?
No.
All right, they're ready.
Where's my assistant, please bring up the notes. All right, thank you. All right.
You want to
and
go over the
as
rules?
always, be sure to do not yell out, exclaim, or otherwise whatever the title of the movie. Just first say your name, wait to be recognized, and then we will let you guess. All right, is everyone ready? Get your fingers on that mute button and ready to unmute yourself. Clue number 1. Again, a body of water plays a key part in our film this week.
Where's the water? Are we watching the same movie?
Am I supposed to do water sounds? I forgot.
No. Skip the water sound.
All right.
Anybody? Water
A
sound?
body of water plays a key part in the film this week.
It's Nancy.
Nancy.
Is it the Titanic?
The Titanic. It would be a great guess, but we've already seen that one. All right. Anyone else? All right. Moving on to clue number 2. Who's that?
Nothing.
All right. Clue. I messed up my introduction. Clue number 2. Some of the characters are seen wearing fedoras. The fedora is back just in time for the holiday season.
Oh boy.
All right. Oh, Sri, yes.
Since I can't see, I don't know if they're wearing fedoras, but how about Aquaman?
Aquaman is not a holiday film that I'm aware of, but
Oh, you didn't say holiday.
good guess. It's December. It's the holiday season.
We didn't say that though. It was implied, but go
I
ahead.
I need to play some background music so
No,
you guys will know
no
that it's the
background
holiday
music.
This is
season.
Ned.
Keep going. Ned's got to
Ned,
guess.
Go ahead.
Is it Miracle on 34th Street?
Miracle on 34th Street is there any water in there?
Well, it's in New York, so it's near the Hudson.
Okay,
Well,
Ned.
water
You're
plays a key part in the film. Okay.
You're stretching.
Jody?
Ned.
Good try. Good try.
I saw
Okay,
Miracle on 34th Street.
Jody.
It's Jody?
Go
How
Jody,
about
go
It's a
ahead.
Wonderful Life? It's a
It's
Wonderful
a
Life.
Wonderful Life is almost exactly correct. Ding, 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 Jody. Yes.
So this is Jim.
Hold on.
A river
Okay.
runs through it.
River runs through it is almost correct too. Yes,
Yes.
and
Well, because he comes
Jody
into the
got
river.
that without having to, on clue number 2.
Wow.
This Christmas film has a snowy setting with all the trimmings, including mistletoe.
She can have by Angel Wings.
Hold on.
The story is a strong and fundamental fable, sort of a Christmas Carol in reverse. And it has been called the best and worst things that ever happened to the film are that it fell out of its copyright protection. Let's go figure that one out.
This is Brad. Is this
All
going to be the
right.
first time we've had a movie repeated?
This
Yes.
is a classic, therefore we can repeat it.
We'll repeat it for those who've been paying attention.
Yes.
Show off.
We did it. If it bonus points, you will get an extra prize if you can guess what date we showed it on last December.
And I'm sure he has nothing else to do.
It's
The 16th.
The 16th.
This is Jim, by the way.
Yeah, you better ask Alexa what Friday dates in December were last year. All right, we're going to move on.
Well, the
Okay,
18th, then.
Johnny, what do we have for our winner tonight?
All right. Well, yes, we are going to, yes, exactly. Those angel wings and iBUG colors will be stripped from our former winner, Jim. And so we have our first fallen iBUG angel. So sorry, Jim. But
I feel naked.
Be careful. But Jody, hold on to those wings and make the most of them for this year. All
You
right.
had them for a year.
First time I'll ever be able to wear angel wings.
You are an angel for this year. And we also, an extra gift is a bell. So you can ring that bell and give lots of angels their wings. So there you go. All right. Thank you, Mr.
This is Steven.
In
Thank
case
you.
Jody cannot carry out her duties over the next year, we will have, who was the second runner-up? I forgot who the second runner-up was.
Ned with River Runs Through It. Oh, no, with the New York guest. So there you go.
Okay.
34th Street, Miracle on 31st.
Yeah, that was pretty. Yeah. Okay.
I'm still wondering where the water is.
Yeah, you'll
Is
see.
the snow the
Well,
water?
the bridge when he's about, when
It's
he's
the river that he jumps. He jumps off the bridge into the river.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, the version we're going to be watching stars Jimmy Stewart as the elf.
Yay.
The elf. Okay. Stop. Just stop.
Oh, he
Stop.
played Santa Claus.
Okay, here we go. Mr. McCullough, time for you to say goodnight, please. Good night.
Okay.
Good night,
Talk
Mr.
to
McCullough.
everybody later. Everybody have a very good night.
Okay, I don't know.
Enjoy your dinner.
Goodbye, Mr. McCullough. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you for playing iBUG Night at the Virtual Movies. Okay, so we're going to go back to our, here we go. This is our iBUG Bite segment. Just so you know where we're going, we have a 5-minute demo by Brad, and then we'll return to our regularly scheduled questions. So hold tight. And then the rest of the time will be about. All right, Brad, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, we're ready. Let's go.
All right. This one's going to be a bit of a review. As previously mentioned on this call, iOS 15.2 was released today. And from time to time, we have some of our listeners ask about how to update their iOS. So I thought I'd just give a brief overview of how to update. your iPhone or your iPad. It's very much the same on your iPad, but we're going to focus on the iPhone. I have here my iPhone 12 Pro. It is still running iOS 15.1. I think it's yeah. 2041. Here we go. Can we hear that? Is that coming through loud and clear?
A little louder, please.
A little loud.
More.
Cellular button.
How's
That's better.
that?
Yeah, good. Thank you,
Better.
sir.
Okay. I got my settings app open.
General.
I'm going to general.
About button.
And
Software update.
second from the top is software update. I open it. Now, there's a couple things here we're going to look at. Right now, it is looking for the boop, and there it popped up.
Software update.
Okay.
Heading. Automatic updates.
First thing we want to find is we have the automatic update option. Mine is set for download only. Let's take a look at that inside here.
Download iOS updates.
We got there's two switches in here. I can set it to download the update, and then it will download it to my phone, but it will not update it automatically.
Install iOS updates. Off.
And then I have install iOS updates turned off, so I have to manually do them. You can turn that on, and I believe it will do them at night when you're sleeping and presumably not using your phone. So those are two things to look at. So I'm going to back out of here.
Software.
iOS
iOS 15.2.
It tells me I have iOS
65.9 MB.
Okay, it tells me I've got the iOS 15.2 update. It's got some notes about the update.
Learn more button. iOS 15.2 adds Apple Music Voice Plan, a new subscription tier that provides access to music using Siri. This update also includes the app privacy report, new safety features for children and parents in messages, and other features and bug fixes for your iPhone.
Okay, it tells us a little bit about it. We go down here.
Some features may not be available for all regions or on all Apple devices.
That's
For
good
information
to know.
on the security content of Apple software updates, please visit this website.
Okay.
HTTP download and install.
So I go here to the button for download and install. Now, keep in mind, if you are still running iOS 14 point whatever, 14.8, I think is still the newest, it may prompt you to update a security update. It may tell you that your iPhone is up to date. And if you are ready to make the jump to iOS 15.2, you will scroll on down to the bottom of the page and you will find a button that says update to iOS 15.2. Forgive me, it's been a while since I've done it, so I can't remember exactly what it says, but it is a button that you'll see. Now, to get the process started, I'm on download and install. So I hit it
Passcode.
and it wants my passcode. Hang on one second. I'm going to mute while I type in my passcode.
Oh, I thought he was going to tell us his passcode.
Okay, I type in my passcode and the process says started. And it jumped to the top. It is updating. And now you just wait.
iOS 15.2. Apple Inc. Learn more.
It
button.
says
iOS 15.2. Some features main HTTP.
it's not.
iOS, learn more. iOS automatic updates.
Okay.
Download only.
Well,
iOS 15.2. Apple Inc.
now is the waiting process. That's pretty much it. And you wait, and it should, at some point, it will tell me it is downloading. It will tell me how long it will take. And generally it downloads it and then it moves into the verifying update process. And then the update commences. Basically, go put it on the charger and or go about your business. It won't update if you're in the middle of doing stuff. I generally will start it when I know I'm not going to do anything with my phone for a little bit. I did one of my other devices earlier. It really did it pretty quick. It took it a while to download it, but compared to some others I've done, it was a pretty short process. And that's really about all there is to that demo. Short and sweet.
All right. Okay. Any questions for Brad about how to update your iPhone, which is very important.
Brad.
Okay. Go ahead, Marty.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Marty.
I've noticed, I think I have turned on like automatic update on and download and install. Now, after it downloads, I wait because it doesn't say verifying. There's like an install button that I have to click on. and then it will start installing. So it won't automatically install after it downloads. Do I have to change a setting for that?
I believe if you're just patient with it, because you have all automatic updates turned on, you have it to download, and then you have automatically and update or an automatic install. That second switch, whatever it says. And I believe
Okay,
if you just let it sit and you put it on your charger and you go to bed at night, eventually, my understanding is it will install it overnight. I don't have mine turned on because, like you, mine will sometimes download it, and when I open the software update page, I see it there, and I see that the button already says install, and I will tend to hit it at a time, maybe in the middle of the day when I know I'm not going to be using it for a few minutes, or at night before I go to bed, I might do that. Some updates take a while, and some are not, don't take too much time. So I tend to do it when I know I'm not going to be using my phone for the next hour.
It's Marty. Also, I
Yeah,
had
go ahead.
a problem many years ago when I was updating. I played with my phone while it was updating, thinking it was done, and I had a problem. Now, I heard from someone a few years ago, the way to check if your phone is done updating is like toggle the mute button, because if it is updating and you do that, you're not going to interrupt the update.
Yeah, that's
Is
a good
that
idea. I've
true,
never
or-
thought of that. But I think you're talking about the little button on the side near the volume
Yes,
buttons,
the little
correct?
mute button on the side.
Yeah, and I don't think that's pretty inert. So I don't think that's going to do anything. And my understanding is, though, it usually gives you a warning when it's about to start the update. And once the update process begins, I don't believe you can turn the phone off or do anything to it while it's doing the update.
No, you can't. That's where
So-
I got into trouble, because I played around with the screen and interrupted the update, and I had to restore my phone.
Okay. Yeah,
With
I didn't know you could even do that. I figured while it's updating, it
This is
doesn't
Herbie.
respond to anything. I know as a sighted person, I see that the screen goes dark and it's just got a little apple and a progress bar, and it pretty much sits there the whole time. And I wasn't aware I could do anything to it while it was doing that. Let's see. I think I heard Herbie in there.
Hang on, we have Jim first.
Oh, it was Jim. Excuse me. Thank you. Go ahead, Jim.
Maybe Herbie and I are going to say the same thing. It'll be in the next contest. But what I always do as a rule of thumb is I connect my phone to power and do the update that way, because what will happen when it goes through all its machinations of downloading, verifying the update, then you click on the button, start the update or install update, your phone will go blank, and then it will beep when it's ready to be used again and tell you that your phone has been updated.
Jim brings up a good point. I always make sure my phone is, pretty fully charged, maybe not all the way, but 70, 80%. And I've done the updates. If not, I have done like Jim and put it on the charger. I've never heard a beep. That's a new one to me. I usually hear voiceover start talking as soon as it's done. It wakes up and it says something. Now, if I'm not nearby, I miss it, but I come back and it's on the lock screen, and there is a notification on the lock screen that says your phone has been updated to iOS, whatever the version is.
When your phone connects to AC, you hear that tone.
Yes.
Yeah,
that
and
tone,
that's what
correct.
I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. When your phone powers back on after the update, you will get that tone.
You get that. Okay, I understand the tone you're talking about. Yes, and you're correct. I have heard that. That's correct. Okay, Herbie.
Well, yeah, great minds think alike, or at least one of us has a great mind, and I'm assuming it's Jim because he beat me. But yeah, I was going to mention the exact same thing. Connecting your phone to power is a great way to sometimes know at least that your phone is alive. The mute switch is also good though too, definitely. Also, like, I have light perception, and sometimes if the room is dark enough, I can actually see the light on my phone, because I have my brightness set to 0. So if I see my screen, if I see a light coming from my phone screen, that's also a good way to tell that it's updating. It's kind of a little bit hit or miss, so I don't like to fully rely on that. And different people are going to have varying degrees of light perception, including none at all, but I can sometimes look at the phone screen, and that's how I know it's also updating. The other thing I was going to mention is you'll know it's done updating because on the lock screen window, like with this latest update just now, it says, software update, you're fine, iOS is up to date.
Right. A notification. Yeah,
Notification.
that's what I said. Yeah. And as far as that mute switch on the side, if you've got that thing turned off, you do not get that sound when you connect to power. That mutes that. So be aware of that.
But one thing I was going to mention is if you do have anxiety over that, it might honestly better for you to pick a time to manually update your phone, because then you at least know what's going on. You know when you hit the install button, and so you can kind of pace yourself and say like, okay, I'll come back in 5 or 10 minutes. And also if you leave it on the charger, it will make like Jim said, the ding sound or whatever too. So that's just something else to think about too if you are concerned about that. So
all right. Okay, anybody else?
This is Helene.
Helene, go ahead.
I don't know if it's true, but I was told that perhaps when they say there's an update that I should wait a couple of weeks because the blind community had warned me about waiting till the glitches come out. And when Sri said what he said about the 2-finger right and left, is that going to be a butt fix or something that they're going to come up with, and that I should wait a couple of weeks and hear all the complaints that come through?
This Jim.
Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah.
Well,
sorry, man.
I was going to say waiting is always the prudent approach. And the thing that Sri was talking about, I'm not so sure if that was a bug or if that's just how it works. But Sri certainly brought up a thing he learned about his custom gesture. And what he did is he reset the gestures, and then he had a problem. And so his advice was, be careful. If you've got some custom gestures, don't reset back, don't clear them back to the defaults. But anyway, go ahead, Jim.
Well, the only thing I was going to say is that's a good idea. Usually when you get a major update, I tend to follow Apple Viz on Twitter, and they usually, a lot of the Apple Viz main guys are beta testers, and they will usually put out a little blurb as to what accessibility features they've seen fixed. And I think except for last January when they said there were issues with braille displays in 14.70 or 71, I can't remember which, there were issues. But usually I found that if you do the minor updates, you're going to be okay for the most part.
Right. Okay.
This is Sri.
Okay, last comment. Okay, go ahead,
Sri.
One thing I would also suggest that if you're going to do the update, that you run a backup just to make sure that you have a backup prior to doing the update. And I will say that if your comfort level is not high, there's no harm in waiting, because you're running something that you're currently running already. You feel comfortable. Sure, wait till 15.2.1 comes out, and maybe we're not going to know some of the bugs till we start using it. And there may be a gotcha. No one knows. But if your comfort level is it's not that high, I would just wait. This is not a race. Who gets it first installed? It's not all about that.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Brad.
Oh man, I got to see the new features.
Okay, hang on, guys. Okay, so thank you, Brad, for that demo. And now we're going to move on. And let's see. Marty, are you still out there? Well, I have some good news for Marty. You there, Marty? Oh man. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. I was.
Guess what, Marty? I was thinking about you. I got Westminster Chimes to work. Did you know that? Do you use that app?
Did it's Marty. Did it
Yes.
work though? Did it work in that unlike before, every time it chimed, it sent a notification?
Right, I saw that. Yes.
So
Okay.
is it still doing that?
Yeah, it's still, I never used that app before, but I was like, I know you were wondering about how to get your the chimes, some kind of chiming clock to work. So I was all excited about it, but you already knew that. So now I'm not happy.
Yes, but it's sending notifications, and the problem is because I also am wearing the watch.
Right.
I'm getting all these notifications on my watch too. Like,
Yes,
I just want the phone to chime. I don't
Right.
want notifications.
Right. I saw that. I was like, oh, I had like 18 notifications. I thought I was all excited. And then there was just the clock. Okay. Well, very good.
Yeah.
Well, then you already knew about that.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you,
Yes,
Marty.
thank you.
Okay. Back to our back to questions. Anybody with a new question that hasn't had a chance? This is really anybody that has
This is Ned.
Go ahead, Ned.
Yes, I came in late this evening, but it may have was discussed earlier, but I heard Herbie mention about Verizon tracking data or information, and I'm a Verizon customer. So where does one go to disable tracking?
All right. Does anybody have an answer for that for Ned? Doesn't have to be
This is
Herbie. If
Sri.
anybody else knows, go ahead, Sri.
Yeah, so Ned, what I would do is there's a document that Herbie put out for the iBUG Facebook page is where I saw it, and it's got a step-by-step directions to turn those features off. And if you can't find it, come to tomorrow's call and we can maybe walk you through it, because I don't have the directions in front of me right now.
All right.
Okay, but I would find it on your Facebook page.
On the iBUG Today's Facebook page.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you, Sri.
And this is Herbie.
Okay, yes.
No, I will mention is I did also post it on Twitter, which is why, of course, it caught my attention. So then I posted it to the Facebook page as well. But it might be quicker to find it on Facebook, but it is also on the iBUG Twitter.
Thank you, Herbie. All right. Okay. Who else? Somebody new that hasn't had a turn.
Kathy.
Go ahead, Kathy.
I'm still freaked out about my question from Friday, which is I was trying to do some Christmas shopping, and let's see, what were the steps? I think I went to I was browsing, went to Harry and David. I got to a certain level.
You're kind of coming in and out, Kathy. Okay, so you were on a website or an Amazon? Okay, go ahead.
Is this any better?
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, keep going. Okay.
I wanted to go through some products, and
yeah, Kathy, you may have to come back. You're just like fading in and out, so it's kind of hard to understand what you're saying. Okay, just there.
Better?
Yeah, that's better. Good. Go ahead. No. Okay. Try again, Kathy. Come back in. I don't know what's wrong. Yeah. Okay.
Is it better now?
Yeah, right there. Don't move. Okay. Talk.
Okay.
Talk fast.
My speech started speaking German, and I can't find anywhere where the language of I can't think of what do you call the web browser,
so you're
Safari. I couldn't find anywhere where the language changes. And the weird thing was, it sounds like German. And when I read character by character, it was German, but you could still understand a lot of the words, like you could almost understand what she was saying, but
yeah,
anyway.
English is actually derives heavily from German. That's what I've read. But hold on. So are you saying when you were on this website and then VoiceOver started speaking German, is that the right summary?
Yeah. But the weird thing is, when I'd go to the top and it would say, go back to Siri, and it would say that in its normal voice, but then it would start. And even when I read arrow letter by letter, it had different letters. It wasn't using Alpha Bravo Charlie. It was using different letters for the German. It was like,
Okay, and was it only on this website or somewhere else, or it's
So
just shopping?
it happened to a few of them. It wasn't only Harry and David, I think. But I can't remember the other one that it happened to. And I wish I could play it for you, but I only have my one phone, so I can't.
Oh, let's open it up. Okay, okay, Jim, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Marty's agent, and I'll be willing to hire him out, and he'll translate to German because he grew up speaking German.
Okay, well, go ahead. Any other suggestions or no?
It's Brad.
Brad, go ahead.
My gut tells me it's got to be a rotor language issue. If you go to voiceover and then in speech, and you go down, I would look at your languages, and if you don't have one of the US English languages installed, I would install it. Like I was just looking at mine. I've got US English. I think it's Samantha, which is not the default language. That's one that I can access in my rotor, and then make sure you've got languages added to your rotor. And if you encounter something like that, you might go to in your rotor, go to languages and flick up from your default language to one that says US English, and it should put a stop to that reading it in German.
This is Herbie.
All right. Go ahead first. Kathy, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say the languages that I usually have. I mean, just to be fun, I usually have the Irish and then the maybe South African or Australian, but I never had German.
Okay.
Because I don't.
All right, David, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I've encountered that same thing on some, like when it encounters a bunch of foreign words, it'll try to read in that language and with that like voiceover voice.
Yes.
So it'll like adopt the German accented, voice and then read the German. But then when it encounters English again, it'll switch back to your regular default voice.
This is Chanel.
I've seen that also with Asian languages like Japanese or Chinese, or it could be other foreign
I've seen that
languages.
with just for a couple of lines. You mean like if it?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like it's messing with your. I guess it just wants to read it in the natural voice that's designed around that language, so it sounds better. Not that we can understand German, but most of us. But
Okay, let's go to Chanel, then go back to Herbie. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Chanel.
I didn't mean to cut David off, but so there's an app I use called Duolingo, and if I somehow have my voiceover on, I try to use it with Braille display, but it will start, even if it's on an American voice, it will start speaking in French, and I do not have any French voices selected. I've deleted all the French voices from my rotor, but if I switch it to a different variant of American, then it will read without using the accent. So that's interesting what Brad said about choosing a different voice in your rotor, even if they're both set to American, because I do experience that. And it just seems like even if you don't, because on the Mac you can choose select based on language or have voiceover automatically select, but even if you don't have that on the phone, it still tends to go to this language and lets you change your voice. So
Yeah, this is Brad.
Brad.
Yeah, I have my basic voice is set to Alex, and it will do like we were talking. If it runs across another language, even an Asian language or Spanish, it will start reading in that other language. And then it goes, and it doesn't sound like Alex. It sounds like some other chipmunk sounding voice. And it goes right back to Alex when it gets off of that. So I installed what's called US English Samantha as one of my rotor languages. And that's generally what I leave it on all the time. So that, and I did have them both on Samantha, but I wanted to put my regular voice as Alex so I could hear the difference. But when I go to my rotor, I flick up and it says the difference. It says, I can't remember what it says now. I think it says Alex and it says US English or something, Samantha. But that's how I can tell the difference. And that put a stop to it reading in other languages for me.
All right. Okay. Hopefully that helps you, Kathy. And Herbie, do you have anything new to add to this, or we'll keep going?
Well, I just would have mentioned. Well, first of all, my question is, Kathy, do you have 9 languages in your? Okay, I'll quit the bad jokes.
Okay, keep
9.
going.
Anyway,
No.
Okay.
but anyway, I was gonna say that I definitely encounter this phenomenon with languages that I wouldn't even have in my rotor. I only have one voice in my rotor, and I'll come across, like, I was doing a research project, and I came across a Wikipedia page, and there was that's right, the Arabic name for Bahrain, even though I do not even have the Arabic voice installed. It did it on the Mac, and I think it does it on the phone too. It just automatically switched to that voice, and so I think you're gonna have to try different voices and see if it'll quit defaulting to German. But it's voiceover is just trying to be cute. But I also know what you're talking about, Kathy, though. If you actually go try to read it character by character, it looks more English than the actual. It's kind of, so it's a weird behavior with voiceover.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Herbie. All right. Good luck, Kathy. And now we're moving on to the next question. Somebody new that hasn't had a turn. We're trying to really encourage people to participate and ask your questions.
This is Jody.
Go ahead, Jody.
I just want to make a comment. It seems to me, as going back to the question about turning off tracking, I think you do that by going to settings and then going to Safari, and you turn off tracking there.
All right. Thank you, Jody. Hopefully that will help Ned out. Okay, good deal. Okay,
This is
who's
Sri.
next? Yes, Sri?
If we're talking about the Verizon, it's not there. It's
Okay,
This is
not there. Okay. All right. So go visit our website or the Facebook page to get the information about the Verizon thing. All right. Okay. Who's next? Somebody new? Hasn't had a turn.
This is Roy.
Go ahead, Roy.
I had a question about Overcast. I believe it was Brad that recommended it, and I really like it. But when I was exploring the settings, for example, when you go to your podcast on Buzz, when everybody's introducing themselves, there's usually a gap between people. Well, I turned something on to where it's like the silence has been removed. Does anybody have an idea what I turned on to
Brad.
remove the silence?
Okay, Brad.
I believe it's called Smart Speed, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't looked at it quite a while. There is a setting in there that will eliminate little gaps in speech. Like if I'm talking slow like that, it will reduce those little gaps and speed it up. And it's particularly noticeable if there's some music played and you're familiar with, it speeds it up a little bit, but it gets rid of little gaps, and it's very hard to tell. But it will, and there's even a little something in there that tells you how much time you've saved since cumulative since you've turned it on. And mine's up to several hundred hours because I turned it on several years ago. And it's amazing. But yeah, that's what it is. It's not in a setting for, I don't think, each individual podcast. I think it's in the general settings for, I can't remember, but
Okay.
I thought it was in the just general Overcast settings.
Wow,
This is Roy.
that's cool. Yes, Roy, go ahead.
It is really a great feature. It's a time saver for sure. A follow-up to that, if you want to rewind, it goes 5 seconds. I think I saw somewhere where you can change that to a larger increment. Do you recall that setting, Brad?
This is Brad. I believe
Yes.
that would also be in the general settings for Overcast, not in each individual podcast. I think I've got mine set to go backwards 15 seconds and forward 30 seconds.
Okay, I'll go look in general settings for everything.
You're
All
asking
right,
me these
thanks.
things. I set it up years ago and I haven't really looked since. So
All
now
right.
you're
well,
going to
they-
make me go look.
Yeah, they may
this is
have
Roy.
moved. Who
But I
knows?
One
can't.
last
My
thing.
phone is updating.
Okay, Roy, what?
I was just
Go
going
ahead,
to say, I've looked at a lot of the podcast apps, and this Overcast is the best, in my
All right.
opinion.
Okay,
That's
thank
all
you
I
for
got.
your opinion.
Yeah.
Good job.
This
Thank
is
you.
Greg.
Go ahead, Greg.
The Overcast, if you open a podcast, and you have your skip back and play and skip forward. If you flick one more time to the right, you get effects, and if you tap on that, then that's where the smart speed is, and you can turn it on or off.
Cool. Thank you, Greg. All right. All right. Very good. Good luck, Roy. I'm going to go check that up again. I kind of use Downcast, but okay. Thank you, Roy, Brad, and Greg. Okay. Who's next? Somebody new hasn't had a turn?
This is the other
This is
Roy.
David.
David. Go ahead, David. Come back to you, Shri. Go ahead, David.
Okay, I posted this on the iBUG Facebook page also, but I got these new AirPod Pro, and I like them pretty well. But on the some apps, especially like Bard Mobile, and now I've noticed also on the voice stream scanner, it sounds like it's like in an echo chamber. And I think Herbie said it's something about the Dolby. It's trying to use Dolby sound or whatever. I mean, should there be a way to turn that off so you can just get it normal?
All
So
right.
I don't need Dolby for my scanning my macaroni and cheese or reading a book, because the book is especially annoying because you don't get the sounds like the person's like in a public restroom, reading to you.
This is Marty.
That's such a lovely image, David. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead, Marty.
I think if you go into Bluetooth settings, when you get to the AirPods Pro, it will say connected, swipe up, and it's add more info. And there's a few prompts in there, and I believe spatial audio is one of them. And you want to turn that off. Also, if you go into accessibility and you go into the second page, it says audio visual. And go into settings, then accessibility, and then audio visual, and it says headphones accommodations. And I think the spatial, wherever you see spatial audio, turn that off, because I think even when that's on, it's supposed to be for certain movies. That's when it's supposed to work. But I believe and also I think it's in iOS 15 now, and it might be under sound settings. I don't know where it is, but spatial audio, if you turn that off, that will get rid of that echo. Because what it also does is, if that's on and you walk around and you turn your head, it will sound like the sound is coming from your left or your right. That's one
I've
of the
noticed that
features
too
of
sometimes.
that.
Yeah, it does that. Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's that
Weird.
spatial audio. You want that turned off.
All right. Very
This is
good,
Herbie.
Marty. Okay. Who's that?
Herbie.
Yeah, go ahead, Herbie.
Yeah, so it should be under more info for sure in the AirPods to turn off the spatial audio. Personally, but one correction I wanted to make, Marty, it's actually app based. It's not movie based, though there are movies that are also recorded in Dolby sound as well, but it's app based. So for instance, anything you listen to in Apple TV, Netflix, Disney Plus, those are going to be in Dolby Atmos. Voice Stream Reader is also in Dolby Atmos, at least if you listen to files. Why they have it for Bard, I don't know, but they do. And I think what they really need is a way where you can make it app specific. So if you want, I like it on for movies and TV, but if I listen to a Bard, that would drive me crazy. And so I personally would love to be able to, say, have it off for Bard, but still have it on by default, because of apps that I do want it in. And so that's, I think, would be a very useful thing to Apple. And
Okay.
implement. So there you go.
Thank you, Herbie. Okay, Marty. Good. So David, good luck. Hopefully get your better Bard experience. Okay, who's next? Somebody new. Question.
May I ask? Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, who's next? Oh, Shri, come back to you, Shri. Go ahead.
So I've got a question about the AirPod Max, and I'm wondering, sometimes when I connect, it says it's connected, but I'm still hearing voiceover on my device. And my question is, do you know what's causing that? And what is the easiest way to reconnect it when that happens?
Brad.
Assuming, which device are you talking about, Sheree? Like going to your phone?
Yes.
And do you have a setting in more info to connect when last connected or always connect? How do you have that set?
Connect to last device.
Connect to the last. Okay. I have found, I have opened up, say, my iPhone, and I will find it says it's connected, but it's not. And that what I will do is I go open the more info, go to where it says disconnect, not forget this device, just disconnect, and it disconnects it. And then I back out of there, go back to my list of devices and tap on it and make it reconnect. And that seems to do it. I don't know why it does it. Doesn't do it all the time. I not only experience that not only with AirPod Max, I experience that with my AirPod Pro on my iPhone as well. If I've used it, I've used them on my Mac or something, and I want to go back to the iPod. And my AirPod Pro are set to always connect to my phone, but my AirPod Max are not. But I still run into the same problem with both of them.
Okay.
This is Herbie.
Yes, go ahead, Herbie.
So, first of all, I love the AirPods Max, thanks to Brad's recommendation. And it was actually funny because I was actually thinking about asking this very same question because I've also noticed the same thing. Two things that I have noticed. Sometimes, like for instance, I have my voice stream app open a lot, and sometimes I think that like certain apps like cause it to freeze with the connection a little bit. So sometimes closing it helps. The other thing though that can sometimes help is actually the play pause button or the two-finger double tap to get a file playing, and that sometimes will also kind of send the message to the phone, oh hey, there's something connected, I gotta route the audio to it. So that's something that I usually try first, and then there's one or two sometimes when I do actually have to reconnect it completely. But and if it's you're having the problem with the AirPods Pro or whatever, same concept, squeeze the stem, and sometimes doing things like activating Siri. The other thing too to keep in mind with the AirPods that could be causing some problems is, you know, when it's connected to your phone at least, and I think this is an issue because like if it's connected to the Mac, I never seem to have this problem, but when it's connected to the phone, it's also fighting for a connection with your watch as well. And so I wonder if that's why it sometimes has these weird connection issues, is because it's like, what should I connect to, my phone or my watch? So.
All right. Thank you, Herbie. Okay, Shree, I hope
This
that
is
helps
Marty.
you. Yes, go ahead, Marty.
I had not had that problem. What I have noticed with both AirPods Pro and Max, that prompt in more info that says like when last connected the phone. So I switched that to automatically connect to whatever device. And then when I go out of it and come back into that more info, the last connected prompt is highlighted. It doesn't stay on that when automatically connected.
Okay.
I don't know why. And I'm wondering if anyone else has noticed that.
All right. Anybody else? So, Shree, good luck. Hope this will help you. Couple of suggestions there. Okay, Chanel, going back to you.
Yeah, I also have a headphone question, but about the Echo Buds, and I have the second generation, but what are the best settings to make that sound good with the phone? And more importantly, what's the best way to wear them? So the microphone, I've heard they have better microphones than some things, but just what's the best way to wear them, I guess.
This is Marty.
Marty, go ahead.
I actually have both of them, the first and second. And in a video that I happened to see on the Alexa app, it said about make sure the smiley face is toward your mouth. Now I don't know what.
Yeah.
I just kind of place them in my ear so that they're naturally like this comfortable. I'm using them now, and I'm assuming that I'm pretty clear. In terms of the settings, what are you talking about? The equalizer settings, or
Oh yeah, I haven't even looked at that. Just any
because
settings to make stuff sound good with
well,
them.
what I did was in my settings, I got it 100, max 100% for bass, 100% for treble, and I took the mid range down to 0. I sort of like that because it sort of amplifies the bass more. I like a lot of bass. So that's what I did. You
Okay.
just have to play around because there are a lot of variations in the settings. I have like my transparency, or well, they call it pass through. I had that at 100%. I have the side tone for what they call the calling experience at 100%. So you just have to play with those and see what you like.
All right.
Thank you. I'm just trying to make them comfortable.
Yeah,
That's the hard
Yeah.
part.
what I'd like to know, how you got them in your ear,
And,
because I never
and
succeeded.
then also, it's Marty again.
Go ahead.
Also, now I haven't tried it. Besides the different ear tips, they have what they call wing tips. And I don't know if you replace the ear tips with the wing tips. I haven't. They said that sometimes that helps people give them a more snug fit, because I do the ear test and I get like a fair on each ear. I don't take that seriously. I mean, it's adequate for me.
Okay.
This is Chanel, and I
ahead.
was noticing the same thing with the ear test. The bigger the tips I put in, then I would get good. Like if with the max, but that can be uncomfortable, or it can be. So I was just, but yeah, I was getting fair too, and so the only way I could even get good is if I jam them in my ear, sort of. So I don't know. So I was
This is
getting
Terry.
frustrated with them.
Okay, who's that?
Terry Ann.
Yeah, Terry Ann, go ahead.
Yeah, I finally got here, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes ago.
Okay.
Anyway, so hello to everybody. But I have a friend who has them, and I believe she adds the wingtips to the other part. She doesn't take the other ear, what do you call those other things? The ear covers, or
Tips.
the ear tips, I guess. Yeah, she doesn't take those off, but she adds the wing tips. And she said that those wing tips help to make the AirPods more comfortable, because you don't have to just jam them in your ears. And that's the problem I have. I've tried all kinds of ear tips, and foam ones and silicone ones, and I have a hard time with them being comfortable in my ears, and they make my ears itch. So I'm just wondering myself, or is there such a thing as a wing tip that fits everything, or do you have to get the wing tips for whatever specific earbuds or AirPods you have? But I believe that you add the wing tips to them, and then they sit more on your ear as opposed to having to be stuffed in your ear, if that makes sense.
This is Herbie.
Okay, hang on. Marty?
This is Marty. Terry, and I believe with these with these higher end headsets like the Echo Bud and the AirPods, they specifically have wing tips in they have ear tips and wing tips in the box, and I don't think you should stray from those. There's no general, you don't want to use a generic, these aren't low, and these are higher end, and they have like 4 sets of tips in the box.
Okay.
Different sizes.
This is Chanel.
Okay, Chanel.
Yeah, that's the thing they have with the Echo Buds. They do have like 4 different pair. I didn't realize that at
Correct.
first because I thought the thing said 3, and so then you have to match up the correct size wingtip with the correct size earbud, but I did actually like for my AirPods Pro, I did try some memory foam buds or whatever they're called. I don't know the exact name. I can look at my Amazon orders, but I did like
That's
those
it.
a little better. So I did, those
Oh,
worked well for my AirPods Pro.
All
Yeah,
right,
this
quickly.
is Terry. Memory
Okay, go ahead,
foam
Terry.
does work. I mean,
Okay,
that is
quick
the name.
comment.
Hang on, Herbie. Okay, go ahead, Terry Ann.
Though the memory foam, that is the correct name. You're absolutely right. And I don't even work well with those. So I'm kind of, I don't know. But anyway, that is the correct name.
All right, Herbie, go ahead.
So, real quick comment. Then I actually do have a question about the AirPods Max, real quick. But my comment is, each earbud is designed a little bit different. Each earphones, Echo Buds, AirPods, Skull Candy. So you have to, if you're going to look for any accessories for any of those, you have to look for ones that are specific to the headphones that you were going to buy. So that was just going to be my comment.
All right. Okay. Anybody else with a new question? We're like
This
near
is
the
Shri.
end of our. Go ahead, Shri.
Has anyone tried the Amazon glasses? And if so, how well that worked?
Anybody? No takers, Shri. Unless...
And this is
Okay.
Shri.
Go ahead.
Also, I just remembered about the FiOS. You go to the my Verizon app. That's where the setting is for that, disabling the feature.
Disabling. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank
This
you.
is Herbie with a new question.
Okay. Hang on, Herbie. Let's see if there's anybody else. Okay. Anybody else with a new question?
This
That
is Jim.
hasn't had a chance. Okay. Go ahead, Jim.
All right, walking around wingless now, I found I have a question I'm pondering.
Uh-huh. Go ahead.
In the app switcher, is it, and does this depend on the phone and how much memory you have? Is it a good idea to leave a bunch of apps open in your phone, or should you be closing them all the time? Or, what have people found about that? Because I have a bunch of apps that I switch back and forth with throughout the day. And I wondered,
This is
what-
Chanel.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
Chanel. Great
The
question.
latest thing I've read about that, and granted things change, but the latest thing I've read is that your phone knows how to manage its data, its memory, whatever. So why not? I mean, I will try to close apps if I see they've been open for, a few days or hours, and I haven't even used this app. Then I close it, and then of course I'll need it later. But I think your phone is good at managing that stuff. If you're
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think,
All
but
right.
I
This is
can't,
That's
I
fine.
don't know.
Okay, Brad.
Yeah, I've been hearing this debate for years. I
Mhm.
think Chanel's right. The phone knows how to manage stuff. Me, I close apps, but I don't know that it matters. I just
Yeah, because I'm way back in the DOS days, and it was always a good idea if you're not using something, close it, or restart periodically. And I always try to do that with my phone, is just do a reset every couple days, especially if I've gotten a lot of app updates.
This is Shri.
Go ahead, Shri.
So I went to the Apple store this weekend to get something checked on my phone, and they ran a diagnostic. And I'm going to tell you, there were some apps that overutilized my RAM. They had no clue. So that is a reason that I don't believe leaving apps running. They'll tell you what it is, but have them run the diagnostic, because the guy's why is your RAM getting overutilized? It's only going to get utilized if you have things running. So I'm going to say close the apps. I know this debate has been going on forever, but I was very surprised when he told me I had apps that were overutilizing the RAM.
All right.
This is David.
Go ahead, David. And
Oh.
then- okay, go ahead, David.
I was going to say, what I do is I try to close those apps that I know are using my location, like Maps or Uber or things of that nature, because I think if those stay open and they keep tracking you as you're moving around, and they can use up your battery faster.
Right. Yeah, and I get that. I don't have a lot of
Okay,
those.
hang on, Jim. Okay,
Oh,
all
sorry.
right, David, you're good.
Oh,
Okay,
that was it. But I think what Tree says also correct. So there are some apps that probably are bad at managing memory, and some of those might eat up some of your RAM, and that might cause performance problems with your phone. So you could always just periodically go and just do a house cleaning on all your app switcher.
All right, we are out of time. So real quick, Nikki, do you have a quick comment?
Yeah,
We have-
yes, you
okay.
can also have them diagnose or do a diagnostic on the telephone. You don't have to go to the Apple store.
Ah, great. Thank you, Nikki. Okay, with that, we are going to wrap it up. Thank you, Brad, for helping me facilitate tonight. And we
Hey, the
will
movie.
we will be back next week. And before that, we have all these different things. Real quick, okay, Clubhouse Mini Buzz tomorrow on Clubhouse from 5 to 6. Then we have Mac Buzz on Clubhouse on Wednesday, 5 to 7. Then we have Android Insight on Zoom from 7 to 8:30. Then Thursday, we have It's iBUG's Life on Clubhouse from 6 to 8 o'clock, talking about shopping. And then 8 to 9:30, Trekkie Talk. And then Friday, iBUG Night at the Virtual Movies, we're going to be watching It's a Wonderful Life. And that'll be at 8 p.m. Central. Then on Saturday, iBUG Apple Workshop Holiday Edition. So hope that you will come and play some games and some trivia and have fun. So, and then we'll be back for our final iBUG Buzz meeting of the year next week. So see y'all soon. Come for any and all of those events. We'd love to have you. And thank you for coming tonight and have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank you.
Good
Bye,
night.
everybody.
Thank
Stay
you. Bye,
well and be
everybody.
safe.
Have a good